Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Music Meltdown. Today, this is kind of a course correction after the train wreck that was 21 Pilots. We're going back to some classic, about as classic as we can get. We're going to be doing a song ranking of Louie, all of the charting versions and the Richard Berry original. Surprisingly, only 10 versions of the song actually ended up charting, which seems a little low to me. But I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, with that being said, seems kind of silly to talk about familiarity with this. I mean, how many of these did you really know going into this?
I knew 5.
Oh, wow. If I'm being honest, I maybe knew the original. Here's the thing. I actually performed this song back when I was in the middle school band. Back where I was from, but we did this and Hang On Sloopy, which I guess that's like a thing to do them both, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, they're like the same progression.
Exactly.
So I don't know why you would.
I guess it'll be easier because it was weird because the other songs that we did that year, there was like Don't Stop Believin' by Journey and like Shut Up and Dance by Walk the Moon, or like the other songs. So it was like, why are we randomly doing Hang On Sloopy and Louie? It just didn't make sense.
You might as well also do like Wild Thing if you want to do a third song with literally the identical chord progression.
Absolutely. Alrighty. That being said, I guess we should just go ahead and hop into it.
Okay, so 10 versions. By number 10, I don't know if this is controversial. It's going to be the Fat Boys rendition of the song. And the reason is that I feel like it's just like the worst. Like if you sat me down and said, you have to listen to all of these, I would dread this one the most. I don't know. I just think like it doesn't work at all when these like, some of the 80s rap covers of like old rock songs are pretty good. Run DMC did a pretty good version of Mary Mary. I always like that one, but this one just sucks. It's not good at all. I'm giving it 1.5 out of 5. I tried to be nice because at least it's like a good song buried under the layers of crap.
Okay, that's not my bottom because it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but it has the comedic element is the best thing I can say about it.
Absolutely. I'm starting out at a 1.5 as well, but I'm going with the Three Amigos take upon the song. Simply put, if you want to remove any of the heart, any of the soul, take away the killer playing, and replace it with a bunch of pretty awful techno and industrial sort of production styles, essentially turning it into a half-rate Daft Punk or even like Square Pusher sort of club house song. That's not my style of music. I haven't explored it very deeply, but if this is apparently going to be at least something in there, I may want to steer away because simply put, this is kind of abysmal and in most ways just an insult as to what was originally intended with the song. I don't dread listening to it as much as other things, so I'm only going to give it a 1.5, but yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there. But it'll shock you. That's actually not my next one, which is insane. I wasn't expecting it. My number 9 is actually going to be the John Belushi version. And my reason is I just hear it as this like impotent, like crappy sound alike of like an early 60s version of the song. I mean, it was basically just done as like a promotional gimmick to get more tickets sold for Animal House. So it's not like I'm, dissing something that actually has merit. But yeah, no, I just don't like it. It's just like very boring. I just want to hear the Kingsmen version every time it comes on. At least the Three Amigos version sucks, but it's an experience I couldn't get elsewhere.
Alrighty, bud. We are going to be waiting a good bit for me to talk about that version of the song. Alrighty, next up for me, we're talking about...
By the way, I gave it 2 out of 5. That's my rating.
Gotcha. We're talking about the Fat Boys next. So if you want this sort of like weird, kind of awful 80s rap take on Louie, this is kind of your go-to. And simply put, it's kind of downright hilarious. I actually like the chorus. I think it works for whatever reason. His rap kind of sounds like Michael Jordan whenever he was doing the McDonald's commercial. That's kind of the voice that I get from him, and it's laughable. This is the most 80s bullshit I've heard in a hot minute. It's really bad. The bars are weak, the beat is laughable, and there's just little to actually like about the song. But at that point, it becomes almost downright humorous because of how pathetic it is. I'm gonna go 2 stars. Pretty rough, but at least it's funny.
Yeah. My number 8 is one you talked about, the Three Amigos version. Yeah, it's not good. The only reason I'm giving this a 2 out of 5 is that at least it's like sampling the original Kingsmen version. So like there's like at least the raw material is something that actually qualifies as a song, unlike this, which is just crap. But at least they took from something good, which shows better judgment than the previous 2 I said. So it's going to be a 2 out of 5. It's not good. You should, these bottom 3 to me are not canon at all. I wouldn't even, I don't want to hear them again.
That is really funny. Okay. So moving forward, I think that my list is going to be a little bit controversial for these. I think that this placement's fine, but going above this, I may have some wacky opinions. Right now, I'm talking about the Travis Wammack version of the song, and it's not too bad. It's a little dirtier, some really cool guitar work overall, but it's all just guitar work. And I'm not inherently opposed to instrumentally based music or music that lacks vocals, but I simply think for a song like this with such a memorable hook and such a well-regarded hook as well, I think that you kind of need it there, and it kind of lacks that notable moment. It's not bad, and I could see myself returning to it at some point, but overall, I'm just gonna give it 3 stars. I think it's a decent track, but there's not a ton to it that would make me want to return all that often.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm about to talk about. The Travis Womack version at number 7 for me. And yeah, I'm giving it the same score of 3 out of 5. Instrumentally, the song loses a lot because it has lyrics for a reason, you know. Generally, I feel like instrumental renditions of songs with lyrics have a few hurdles to justify why they're messing with it so much. I don't know if this one really does, but it's got some cool guitar work. It's got that kind of fun 60s vibe, so I can't hate it too much. I mean, if it came on the radio, I wouldn't like turn it off or something. So yeah, 3 out of 5. It's not terrible. I didn't hate it.
Yeah. Interesting. I actually looked it up. I think that came out in like 72, surprisingly, which is kind of
Did it?
I think so. I was vaguely looking through Wikipedia to like see release dates on stuff, but I didn't really care that much. I'm talking about a song now that you've already brought up twice, which is really funny. I'm talking about the Kingsmen version now. I think that this take is really solid, but to me, I don't think it's all that special or that unique, personally speaking. I think the keys are pretty good. The solo still obviously rips. It's a very pleasant listen. I hate his vocal. I hate the vocals when he does the intro for the solo. He sounds so over the top. He sounds so overwrought. It's terrible. I don't have a ton to say on it overall past that. It's pretty decent. If it was on the radio, I'd play, but I'm not going to really go out of my way for this version of the song. Another 3 stars. I think it's another decent cut.
You're gonna get in trouble for that take, I feel like. Kingsman's version, I feel like that's kind of like the accepted definitive one. You know, that's the one on the Rolling Stone 500 list and all that. So
you say that like that Rolling Stone
number,
list made like one good decision.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it had music post the 60s on it.
Yeah, that was a big fuck up. My number 6 is going to be the original by Richard Berry. I respect the hell that he wrote the song. This is the first version, so it gets props there. I just think in terms of an experience, there's better. ones. I'm not a fan of like the vocal introduction. It sounds a little silly to me. But it's not bad, you know, it's got that kind of 50s doo-wop sound that I like. So, you know, it's a pleasant listen. It's fun. It's different from a lot of the ones that come later. The song hasn't evolved and like taken its final form as like a garage rock type of thing yet. So I still like it. I'm giving it 3.5 stars.
Alrighty, I'm fairly confident I'm talking about either your 1 or 2 now, if I didn't do that before. I'm talking about the Paul Revere and the Raiders version next. This is one of the best vocal performances of the song, I'll say. There's a lot of soul within Paul's voice, and I think it lends to a really excellent performance. And this version is a lot more immediate than a lot of the other ones. And you can't mess up with that type of single within this era. And I love that you can hear a little bit of banter, because I think that this may have been performed at least semi-live within an audience. And I think that that's really fun. And I love how that last chorus ends up jumping back in, but I just think comparatively to other versions, it's not as endearing to me. I don't think it's as unique as certain other cuts, and I don't know, it's just not really hitting me in the way that a lot of other songs are, though. This is the first one I'm going to call actually good, though. 3.5 stars. A little bit of soul, but a really killer rock song as well.
Yeah, that's another one I'm not too happy about. Well, just to say, the vocalist is Mark, not Paul. Paul just plays the piano. I don't know why the band is named after him. Just because he has the funny name, I think.
Yeah, that's some silly stuff there. Are you embarrass me, Paul?
But yeah, no, I think Mark Lindsay does a really good job on the vocals. But yeah, my next one, number 5, is going to be the rendition by Motorhead. You know, I think it's a really good version. I think they nail kind of the rhythm and the drive of the song. That's great. I just think it's solid all around. I'm giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Nothing to complain about. I just like other versions more. It's a good song.
Wow, not only do we agree, but shockingly, you and I both had the metal rendition. Well, more hard rock, but we both had the Motorhead version in the top 5, and I was pretty surprised by this. I love that sort of fierce delivery that Lemmy's getting, and his bass is always just awesome. I really love the drums. They got a nice sort of punchiness to them, and they're always right in front, which really helps it out. Eddie Clark is doing fantastic on his guitar playing, helping to beef up this song, this sort of hard rock, almost anthem in a way. And I love the solo. I think it was one of the best solos there. It's an incredibly well executed and very well made type of rendition on this song, but it's just not sort of my style of music. I don't really listen to a ton of metal, a ton of hard rock like this. When I do, I'm probably going for something other than Motorhead. Overall, though, it's still quite good and way better than I expected it to be. 3.5 stars.
Yeah, I was shocked it didn't suck. My number 4 is going to be the rendition by the Sandpipers. This version is very, you know, they redo it as a much more softer ballad type of song. I like that. I think it's just very solid sound, but for me, it's like the spirit of Louie is kind of something a bit more grungy and gritty than what this song is doing. So I'm giving it number 4 at 4 out of 5 stars, not 4.5 yet. But 4 out of 5, not bad. A good rendition, but it's not like the essential core of the song in a sense.
Interesting. Maybe I just don't like the song that much. But alrighty, next up, I'm going to be talking about the original, the Richard Berry version. Really just a really very well done version of the song. Kind of had to be able to inspire all of these different covers and whatnot. The playing and melodies are really wonderful. I love the sound of the track, and you can see why it's became so essential. And for the most part, vocally speaking, it's amazing. But there's one major reason why I have it lower than where it is. I hate the da-da-dums in the background, the backing vocals. I think they sound absolutely disgusting. He sounds fucking wasted, and it's terrible. On every level, I think that they're god-awful. But the rest of the song is really great, and I love the trumpet here a lot. Pretty high 3.5. If he could just lay off the booze whenever he's recording, it'd be way better.
Okay. My number 3 is one that you already talked about. I have it a lot higher, but it's not my favorite version. It's the Kingsmen's kind of definitive rendition, so to speak. Very large hit. I believe it was number 1 on Cashbox or something. Very successful. And it kind of, to a lot of people, it's kind of like the ultimate version of this song. I think it's one of the best, but I would not call it the number 1. I think the sound quality isn't amazing and the performance isn't amazing, but it has so much of that like spirit and whole track that I really vibe with that, and I really like that. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's not like a perfect song, but it kind of comes at the right moment in music history and kind of sums up the whole zeitgeist of what was going on at the time in a very satisfying way.
All right, interesting. I'm here to knock off our one remaining match. Today, I'm going to be finishing our possibility for agreeing by talking about Rockin, Robbie Roberts, and the Wailers versions. What the hell are some of these band names? Just ew. But honestly, it's a pretty straight up remake, and I think it's really good. They turn out a little bit of electric guitar. The sax is totally killer here. Almost reminds me of something Roxy Music would do with the interplay it gets with the guitar solo. Really awesome. I love Robbie's energy on the cut. Reminds me of sort of Lennon on some of the early Beatles records, where he's super just getting into it, super excited for music still, has a ton of passion. And overall, it was a bit of a blast. Shockingly glammy for being as early as it is, and just a really enjoyable cut. I love glam, and this is like a precursor to everything that would be. If only he was somebody that had any sort of notoriety. A high 3.5 stars. Really interesting cover.
Yeah, interesting. You're still at the 3.5. So I've sped past you a while back, I think. But my number 2 version is going to be I have my number 1 and my number 2 at 10 out of 10 each, 5 out of 5. Both are very good, but one has the slight edge. My number 2 is going to be the Paul Revere and the Raiders cut. And yeah, it's probably the best vocal performance. I think Mark Lindsay absolutely belts it in an awesome way. The drums are really good. They have a great like pop and crunch to the way they sound. This was recorded, I think, like 2 days after the Kingsmen's version or something in the same studio. And it's insane to me that it sounds this much better. Like just on the playing and that kind of level. It obviously doesn't have the same level of fame, but I don't know if that's a good thing. But yeah, it's great. It has a famous kind of dirty lyric where one of them says "fuck" during the guitar solo, and no one picked it up. That happens in the Kingsmen's version too. Actually, both of them have like a hidden fuck during the instrumental parts that none of the like censors picked up on. I guess it's that kind of song. That's what I love about the song. It has that energy of just not giving a fuck. But yeah, I think the only problem is I wish they'd done all 3 verses. They only do the first verse and then a reprise of the chorus. I just want to hear all 3 personally. But other than that, on a playing level, maybe the best one. On a vocal level, definitely the best one for me. Yeah, my number 2, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5.
Well, fuck, I'm kind of surprised that you're getting that high in general. I have 2 of these that didn't even make your top 3, I'm pretty sure, remaining. My number 2, I'm going with the Sandpipers. This is the first version of the song that I ended up listening to, and I really ended up loving it by the end of it. It follows the original composition fairly well, but it has almost a sort of carnival-esque sound. I love the acoustic rendition of the solo that they're going for. I think the vocals are incredible here with the added string work in the background. and the melodies sound really angelic over what I believe is an organ in the back, and I just think it's absolutely wonderful. It's important to note that this song is performed in Spanish. I don't really care because it sounds so great. And the more I listen to the song, just the more infectious and the more in love with the sound of everything I end up coming. It's really subtle track, but it really performs everything wonderfully. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I think it's a very good rendition of the song, really unique as well.
Yeah, I'm laughing that your number one is my second to last. I guess I wouldn't expect anything else from us.
The fact that you have the John Belushi one below the Three Amigos is absolutely absurd to me. I don't fathom knowing you how that's even possible.
I mean, here's the thing. It's like a bad meal is the Three Amigos version, and the John Belushi one is like a medium to bad version of a good meal. Which one is going to piss me off more? The version that could have been good. Like, I had no expectations for the Three Amigos, but my number one, Rockin' Robin Roberts and the Wailers. Yeah, it's very good. I really enjoy it. This is the first version of the song that's been a hit. Kind of set the stage for future renditions. There's a lot. It's just really great from start to finish. The kind of syncopation on the riff, the central riff against the percussion is obviously great. The sax has that great crunch and kind of sound to it. I really like everything. Yeah, to me, this should be kind of like the definitive version of the song. Nothing against the Kingsmen. I think, maybe on a historical level, if I wanted to try to be more objective, theirs is the best song, but I'm not judging things on that basis. And because of that, yeah, I'm going to be going with this cut here. I think it's really good, really strong. It's worth a listen.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm kind of going with that similar mentality. Just which one of these songs do I want to listen to the most? And maybe it's a bias because I think that 1978 is an incredible year for music. I have 4 or 5-star records there. And just as I continue listening, it just keeps on giving. And this cover by John Belushi is awesome. I'm not gonna try and sugarcoat it. This is like the perfect bar band you could find to do this type of song. I love his vocals. I think that he's not perfect, but he has a lot of charisma and a lot of passion behind him. He's really just doing his best to sort of rile up a group. I love the piano flourishes during the chorus and the way he does a little scream before it breaks out into its solo. It has a really classic sort of 70s sound, and I think it's really tuneful within everything. I thought that was a really awesome take, like 4.5 for me. I think it's a great version of the song. However, I will fully admit, I think that I was leaning towards the ones that are a little bit more unique for me. I think that this one, you were saying that the song sort of took on like a sort of grungy aspect, like this sort of, I don't know how to describe it, kind of less professional, more just raw grunge performances. And I think that this is the perfect encapsulation of that because none of it's perfect. It's all just a really fun, really just out there version where it's just a band that you can tell is having a ton of fun in the studio or live, just doing what they want with the song that is instantly recognizable to a crowd. And I mean, it is what it is. If you're not into it, you're not into it. Not much more you can say about that, but I think it's something special. So atypical for our night.
Fair enough.
It is what it is. Can't win them all.
I wouldn't. I at this rate, I'm shocked if we agree on a rating or a ranking in our videos. I have to say.
I think we have a pretty solid shot of lining up next week. I'll be shocked if we don't at least line up on the number 1.
We'll see.
Well, anyways,
I make no promises.
You better not, because I think that there is a definitive, and you better pick that definitive. No further comments. Alrighty, but with that being said, sorry, any of you sort of Fat Boys lovers, we did your boys a little dirty here, but they should have made better music.
Nah, we did them exactly how they deserve.
That's absolutely correct. Never mind. I take back any kind comments to the Fat Boys fans. Alrighty, with that being said, this is a lot of fun, and I'm ready to finally, we've been teasing this episode for forever now. We're finally talking about the band.
Yeah.
This one took
the band
way too damn long.
Took about 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I figure I'll just come out and say a little tidbit here. Top 20 artists for me. I think the band are incredible. Expect some high scores from me.
Fair. I'm not. I don't know if I'm going that far. I'd probably not.
Yeah, it's fair. Most of their stuff was released in the 70s, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
With that being said, I hope that you all enjoy. After the band, we're going to be doing another one of these track rankings. We're going to be discussing the 24 main Bond theme songs. And after then, I believe we are getting to Be-Bop Deluxe.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yep. That being said, hope you all enjoyed the video. This is a nice short one. Hopefully resuscitate some of you after 21 Pilots. That being said, you all have a great one.